In every forest, there are stories that never make it into the pack's howls. Stories of the one who chose the harder path, the one with no footsteps ahead, only the sound of his own breathing, and the whisper of snow beneath his paws. We call him the lone wolf. Not because he was born apart, but because life, or choice, took him there. Sometimes he leaves the pack by force, pushed out by rivals, by hunger, or by the silent law of survival that says there is not enough for all. Other times, he leaves because something inside him refuses the rhythm of many, a restlessness, a calling, a need to see what lies beyond the known trails. The first days alone are not romantic. The cold feels colder without the press of other bodies. The night feels louder when no other heartbeat matches yours. The pack is warmth, is safety, is the comfort of many eyes, scanning the dark, instead of just two. But the pack is also rules, boundaries, an invisible fence, built from the weight of tradition and survival. And for some, that fence feels like a leash. The lone wolf walks, not toward something specific, but away from something certain. Away from the endless compromise. Away from the path already decided. Away from the voice that says, this is all there is. Every step deepens the silence around him. But in that silence, other things begin to speak. The wind, the creak of frozen branches, the almost imperceptible shift of prey moving under the snow. He begins to hear the forest, not as background noise, but as a living map. One that only the truly alone can read. At night, he curls beneath the low branches of a pine, snow collecting slowly over his fur, until he looks less like an animal and more like a shadow, carved into the earth. His dreams are filled with the voices of the pack, but each night they fade a little more. There is hunger, yes, sometimes sharp and biting, other times a dull ache that sits in his bones. But there is also something else now, a sense fragile at first, that he is beginning to belong to himself. We often talk about freedom as if it were a gift, wrapped and waiting, something we can hold without effort. But freedom, real freedom, is heavy. It requires the willingness to face every consequence alone. The lone wolf does not run for the thrill. He runs because stopping means dying, not just the body, but the part of him that refuses to be tamed. And so, under a sky so wide it could swallow him whole, he walks into the unknown. Every step is a question. Was it worth leaving? Will it be worth continuing? For now, the only answer is the snow under his paws. Farther he goes, the fewer familiar scents remain. The smell of the pack fur, pine resin, the musk of shared kills is gone now, replaced by the sharper scent of strange territories, where every rock and every shadow could hide a rival. A lone wolf cannot afford carelessness. Every decision is a calculation: where to drink, where to rest, when to reveal himself, and when to vanish. In the pack, danger was shared. Eyes watched different directions. Ears caught different sounds. Alone, his senses must do the work of many. He reads the wind like scripture. He studies the snow for signs: a broken twig, a half-printed paw, a faint trail of blood that could mean dinner or disaster. Some days bring nothing, no prey, no warmth, just the slow erosion of energy and the quiet question: how much longer can I do this? But survival has a way of sharpening not just the body, but the mind. A lone wolf learns patience the way a tree learns to stand in winter, rooted in stillness, waiting for the right moment to move. On the rare days when he finds food, there is no feast, no competition, no snapping jaws fighting for the largest share. There is only him, the slow tearing of flesh, the sound of bones cracking under his teeth, the satisfaction of knowing that every bite was earned with his own decisions. Freedom, for him, tastes like meat he hunted alone, like water found after miles of thirst, like sleep without a shadow standing guard. And yet, there are nights when the silence is not peaceful, when the absence of other bodies feels like a hole, the size of the moon, when he catches himself howling, and the sound echoes back empty, without the chorus of voices that once rose to meet his. This is the other price of freedom. Not just danger, not just hunger, but the knowledge that no one is coming, no one to find him if he's injured, no one to warn him of the bear on the ridge, no one to share the warmth when the cold presses like a fist. We, too, dream of freedom, but we forget that it comes with an invoice written in solitude. And solitude, once it takes root, changes you. The lone wolf does not just adapt to being alone. He begins to think differently. He no longer moves for the pack's good, but for his own survival. Every path, every choice, is his signature alone. And while this independence is intoxicating, it is also a kind of exile. Because once you have learned to move by your own compass, returning to the rhythm of the many feels like shrinking yourself to fit. The forest grows darker as he moves. The trees close in, branches clawing at his fur like whispers, asking him to turn back. But the lone wolf keeps walking, because there is no turning back once the scent of freedom is in your blood. Storms are a kind of truth-teller. They strip away illusions of control, of comfort, of certainty. In the pack, a storm was endured together. Bodies huddled close. Warmth passed from one to the next. A silent agreement that everyone mattered enough to be shielded. Alone, the wolf is his own shelter. There is no circle to join, no shared breath in the cold. This is where freedom feels most expensive. When survival depends entirely on what you can carry inside yourself, the heat of your own body, the strength of your own will. In moments like this, he remembers the old days, the steady presence of the alpha, the comfort of knowing someone else made the hard decisions. Now, every choice is a solitary gamble. Every path could be salvation, or a dead end. Humans often speak of freedom as if it's an endless horizon. But true freedom is not the wide open. It is the weight of choosing where to place each step, knowing there is no one to blame if you fall. The lone wolf learns to listen deeper than fear. He reads the wind for changes in scent. He tastes the air for hints of prey or predator. He senses the vibration of the ground beneath his paws, translating it into a language older than fire. We once had this language too, before walls separated us from the seasons, before noise drowned the voice of the earth. We listened, and we moved accordingly. But freedom for us now is too often just the absence of rules, not the presence of awareness. We run from one thing to the next, mistaking motion for meaning, mistaking options for direction. The lone wolf cannot afford that illusion. Every movement costs energy. Every mistake costs survival. So he moves with intention, not fast, but sure. And maybe this is the secret that solitude teaches, that slowness is not weakness, that stillness is not failure, that listening, really listening, is a form of strength. By the time the storm clears, his fur is heavy with ice, but his eyes are sharper, his instincts more precise. Because storms do more than test you. They carve you into what you need to be. Freedom is beautiful, but beauty can be brutal. It will show you skies you never imagined, and it will demand you face nights you thought would break you. In the quiet, the wolf thinks about the word alone. To others, it sounds like emptiness. To him, it has become a kind of truth. Because being alone is not the same as being lost. It is not the same as being unwanted. Sometimes it is the choice that keeps you whole. We often confuse belonging with staying. We think love means never walking away, but the lone wolf knows. Sometimes the deepest loyalty is to the voice inside you that says, keep moving. He has scars. From battles fought, from hunts failed, from nights where hunger made the world spin. But none of these scars speak of regret. Because freedom is not about avoiding pain. It is about choosing the pains that make you stronger, not the ones that shrank you. In the distance, a howl rises not from him, but from somewhere else. A pack, strong, united. For a moment, he pauses. The sound is familiar. It stirs something ancient in him. A reminder of warmth, of shared hunts, of sleeping in the safety of many. He could follow it. He could return. But not tonight. Tonight, the path still belongs to him alone. Because freedom is not the absence of connection. It is the knowledge that you can choose it without needing it. The moon climbs higher. Its light lays silver across his fur. Each step forward feels like writing his name into the land itself. And perhaps this is the quiet truth of freedom. It will cost you certainty. It will take your comfort. It will demand patience, discipline, and resilience. But in return, it gives you yourself undiluted, uncompromised, and undeniably alive. In the end, the price of freedom is high, but so is the cost of living without it, and only you can decide which one you are willing to pay.